And if you told a joke and it bombed, you just stood there like a dummy.
Something
you know what I mean?
extraordinary happened in America. Stores sold out of televisions because of one man, Milton Berle. Every Tuesday night, restaurants closed early, crime rates dropped. Milton Berle wasn't just an entertainer. He was a pioneer, America's first true television superstar. And yet, the very industry he helped build forgot him. When he died of cancer, there were no tributes, no national mourning. Ironically, the entertainment world that he helped shape turned its back on him. His own adopted son published a tell-all book calling him a terrible father, obsessed with fame and women. The last time Milton appeared in the spotlight, it wasn't with honor, but scandal, when he groped RuPaul on live television, leaving audiences shocked and confused. That moment became the final headline in a long and turbulent career. Milton Berle didn't choose fame. His mother, Sarah Berlinger, chose it for him. Sarah was the textbook stage mother, not chasing the spotlight for herself, and her entire life to mold him into a star. She even changed her name to Sandra Berle, matching Milton's. She would sit in the front row of every show, laughing loudly on purpose so that the audience would laugh with her. She once pushed Milton onto a stage without permission, risking arrest, just for the chance that someone important might see him. But her obsession came at a cost. Milton's father and siblings were pushed aside. His life was tightly controlled. Later in life, Milton said he had appeared in over 50 silent films. While other children played outside, Milton was performing under stage lights, replacing his ill father. The pressure was immense. Like so many child stars of that era, his well-being was sacrificed for fame. At age 12, Milton said he lost his virginity to a chorus girl, highlighting how unsafe vaudeville was for children. He was thrown into a world of late-night performances, adult humor. That experience wasn't just a childhood trauma. It was evidence of how the entertainment industry failed its youngest stars. Milton also gained infamy for something less flattering: stealing jokes. In vaudeville, a good gag could feed a performer for months. Even Milton leaned into the accusation, once saying on a 1947 radio show, "I've got more gags than I can remember." Strangely, the accusations didn't hurt him. They became part of his brand and only made him more famous. By 21, Milton was headlining major theaters in New York, performing up to 6 shows a day. He starred in the Ziegfeld Follies. On June 8, 1948, NBC aired the first episode of Texaco Star Theater, and American entertainment changed forever. The show blended vaudeville, comedy sketches, musical numbers, and live ads. But more than that, it introduced television as a true national force, with Milton Berle as its face. Berle's slapstick energy, outrageous costumes, and fast-paced humor captivated audiences. Tuesday nights became sacred. In Detroit, water levels in city reservoirs dropped at 9 p.m. because no one wanted to miss the show. Even restaurants closed early, and people rushed home just to watch him. At first, NBC was unsure about Berle. He was given only a 4-week trial. Other hosts like Maury Amsterdam and Jack Carter were tested, but no one could match his chaotic, crowd-pleasing style. By September 21st, 1948, NBC named Milton Berle the permanent host. He wasn't just a TV personality, he was a national obsession. In 1948, by the time Texaco Star Theater ended in 1956, over 30 million homes had a television. Milton Berle wasn't just a TV star. He helped build the TV industry itself. Another famous nickname, Uncle Milty, came from a throwaway line on air: "Listen to your Uncle Milty and go to bed." From that point on, America embraced him as family, not just a celebrity, but someone who felt like he belonged in every living room. His jokes became part of national culture, and for years, Tuesday night was America's shared ritual. By 1951, Milton Berle had reached the peak of television stardom. NBC was so desperate to keep him from jumping to another network that they signed him to an unprecedented contract: 30 years at $200,000 per year, regardless of whether he actually performed. the equivalent of about $1.5 million a year today. It was a staggering vote of confidence. Berle wasn't just a performer anymore. He was a network's golden goose. During the 1950-51 season, Texaco Star Theater pulled in a Nielsen rating of 61.6. That meant over 60% of homes with a television were watching his show every week. No modern show has ever come close to that. Milton also broke taboos. At a time when cross-dressing was still illegal in many U.S. cities, he performed in drag, most famously parodying Carmen Miranda. He was careful to remind audiences that it was just a joke, distancing himself from any controversy around gender identity. That double standard let him get away with performances that would have landed others in jail. But Milton wasn't all comedy. He had principles, too. When sponsor Texaco tried to cancel an appearance by the Four Step Brothers, a black dance group, Berle refused to perform. Just minutes before air, he told the network, "If they don't go on, I don't go on." Texaco backed down. The Four Step Brothers performed, breaking racial barriers on national television. In that moment, family-friendly humor, Berle's fast-talking, big-city shtick started to feel out of place. His once-dominant ratings fell. In 1953-54, his show dropped to 5th place. By 1955, it was 13th. Texaco pulled its sponsorship. NBC tried new formats, but nothing worked. The same outrageous persona that once made him a star now made him seem outdated. The contract that had once been a network's prize became its burden. By the late 1950s, Milton Berle had become an expensive problem for NBC. Still under contract, the network scrambled to place him wherever they could, including Jackpot Bowling, an awkward hybrid of comedy and sports that was clearly below his stature. What should have been a triumphant return turned into a historic train wreck. Berle opened with off-color jokes targeting race, gender, and body image. He mocked Puerto Ricans, Arabs, and the LGBTQ community. Even in the 1970s, the jokes felt offensive and out of touch. Behind the scenes, it was worse. Berle ignored the writers, insisted on performing his old vaudeville routines, and arranged a fake standing ovation at the end of the show, tipping off producer Lorne Michaels in advance. Michaels was horrified. He refused to film the fake ovation. The show ended in silence. Berle was banned for life, the only SNL host to ever receive that punishment. For decades, NBC refused to re-air the episode. From a pioneering icon to a cautionary tale, Berle's name topped the list of the worst SNL hosts in history. After that, Milton was mostly relegated to charity roasts and nostalgic appearances, where younger comedians mocked his age and fading fame. He tried to hijack the spotlight by interrupting them or cracking awkward jokes, but only made things more painful to watch. The man who once had America's full attention was now just the punchline. Beyond the spotlight, Milton Berle's personal life was just as chaotic as his career, if not more. His first marriage to showgirl Joyce Matthews ended in disaster. They divorced in 1947, remarried in 1949, and divorced again in 1950. After their second split, Matthews attempted suicide in the home of her married lover, Billy Rose. The incident shocked the public and tarnished Berle's reputation. Berle eventually found stability with publicist Ruth Cosgrove. They married in 1953 and stayed together until Ruth passed away from cancer in 1989. But even that long-lasting relationship wasn't free from the past. Milton admitted that his mother's overbearing influence continued to haunt his marriage. They adopted a son, William, and in 1999, that son would publicly destroy what little peace Berle had left. William's memoir, My Father, Uncle Milty, accused Milton of being an absent, self-centered, and emotionally cold parent. One of the most disturbing stories described how Berle hired a prostitute for William at the age of 16, a misguided attempt at bonding that only deepened the emotional scars. The book humiliated Berle. He never spoke to William again, a silence that lasted until the day he died. But William wasn't the only hidden child. In the early 1950s, Milton had fathered son, Bob Williams, with showgirl Junior Standish. For decades, Berle denied it. Bob grew up seeing Berle at parties, never knowing the truth. Milton kept the secret, claiming it was out of respect for Bob's mother. The truth finally emerged in the late 1980s, but by then, the damage was irreversible. Bob had spent his entire life in the shadow of a father who wouldn't acknowledge him. In April 2001, doctors diagnosed Berle with colon cancer. They told him the tumor was slow-growing, unlikely to cause serious harm for another 10 to 12 years. Milton, then 92, chose not to undergo surgery. On March 27, 2002, Milton Berle died at age 93. And with his death came the final tragedy, the silence. There were no national tributes, no heartfelt speeches from modern comedians, no big network send-off. Even in death, Milton Berle was overshadowed. His passing occurred the same day as actor Dudley Moore and director Billy Wilder, two giants in their own right. News outlets prioritized them. The man once called Mr. Television couldn't even headline his own obituary. It was the ultimate irony. The pioneer of television, forgotten by the medium he helped build. On April 1, 2002, his funeral was attended by about 300 friends and colleagues. Comedians like Red Buttons, Sid Caesar, Don Rickles, Jane Meadows, and Buddy Hackett came to pay their respects. Berle's signature trench coat and hat were draped over his coffin, a nod to his comedic paranoia about catching a cold. Over 26 million did, thanks in large part to Berle's show. He made television not just a novelty, but a necessity. But fame is fleeting. The spotlight moves fast, and the louder the applause, the lonelier the silence after it fades. From the age of 5, Berle was pushed by a controlling mother who dictated every aspect of his life. He didn't marry until age 44. His relationships were strained, his children distant, and in the end, he found himself clinging to memories of a world that had moved on. Late in life, Milton Berle said something that now sounds heartbreakingly clear. I don't care about making people laugh anymore. I just want to laugh for myself. And maybe that was all he ever really wanted, even at the height of his fame.